So at this point, you know that my father was a problem child. You know that he was gangbanging, pimping, drug dealing, drug using, and that my mom ended up getting shot in the 80s. You know that my father ended up forcing her to join the military, so because from that shooting, he assumed that there were people trying to kill him. There may have been other signs during that time that people were trying to kill him, but I don't know what those other signs may be. I was only 3 to 5 years old during that time, so I don't really know what those other signs were that he may have had during that time that people were trying to kill him. So now we are in Germany. This is the late 80s at this point, and now it's Desert Storm, Desert Shield. There's a lot going on. Things are crazy over in Germany, and my mom is ready to get out of the military. As she ends up getting out of the military, we come back to the States, and then at some point, and I don't know when, we ended up coming back, settling down in the South, right? But at some point during that time, during this time span, the people who were trying to kill my father ended up being relatives. So the first time, there were he felt there was people trying to kill him, and I'm not sure at that time if he really felt like it was family that was trying to kill him or not. I think maybe he might have had some suspicions, but it wasn't anything that I was aware of, and it's probably because of my age. But so then by the time we get back from Germany the first time, now we went to Germany twice, we lived in Germany 2 different times, so this is the first time we get back in Germany. We come back from Germany, we settle down in the South, we're in Atlanta, we're in different places in Alabama, in the country, right? My father doesn't really let any family visit. Like his mom ends up visiting, maybe my grandma, and a couple other family members that he's super tight with. Maybe one of them is the bishop, who is, you'll end up hearing about Uncle Bishop as the story progresses. But Bishop is my father's brother who presides over the family church in Detroit. That's Pentecostal Temple in Detroit. And maybe he comes to visit, maybe a couple other people, but my father is real selective about what family he lets visit. And so now by this point, it ends up changing from unknown person in my mind and then it becomes a known person. Now by this point, the people who are trying to kill my father are Dietrich Haddons' father and I believe his brother. So that's what now it ends up being. Now, you guys probably didn't know this, right? Some people knew, but Dietrich Haddon is my first cousin. Dietrich Haddon, a gospel artist, preachers of LA, a couple other shows that he does, movies that he does. You guys know who Dietrich Haddon is. So Dietrich Haddon's mom and my father are brother and sister. So now, at this point, my father feels that it's Dietrich Haddon's father. So now, it turns from this unknown hitman who is trying to kill my father to family members who are trying to kill my father. And so now it's some type of beef going on between Dietrich Haddon's family and our family, and my family, right? I don't know if Dietrich Haddon's family even knows anything about this beef, right? But we do. Anytime that we are ever around the family, when we come back from Germany and all of that stuff, right? Whenever we come back for, a funeral, a family thing, whatever, we may come back a couple of times to go back to Detroit, and a funeral, something like that, then we're told not to be around that family, right? The Haddon family, right? But that's my enemy. And so my father is creating this whole thing where we can only talk to certain family members, but for the most part, none of them. Even on my mom's side of the family is strained, where we can't really talk to them. And during this time period, my father is so committed to this story of someone who is trying to kill him, to the point where he tells us as kids, we might have to change our names. So he tells us, hey, go pick out the name you want to pick out a different name that you would want to have, and because we might have to go into hiding and stuff like that. And so during this time, he's making us hyper alert, you need to be watching out and see if anybody's following you, because they'll follow you just to come kill me. And I mean, he was just making it we were the weak links. He was people are going to be following you and you don't even know it, you ain't even paying attention. Did you look around? Did you see that car? I mean, he would do these things did you see that car? He would quiz us or chastise us if we didn't notice a car coming down the street. You know how people who are into that surveillance type stuff, or they're police officers, and so they're keen on everybody's movements, where everybody is, how everybody looks, they look dangerous and all of this other stuff. And as kids, he's doing this to us. We have to be looking out for, what does this person look like? Did anybody follow you? Were you looking? Were you even paying attention? That type of stuff. And it's we're kids. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing this to us. And so I'm scared. Like, I can remember him telling us, you know, get down, get down. He has his guns and he's looking out the window. He's, you know, looking through the blinds and all the lights are off. And we all like hunker down, trying to be real quiet. Don't even breathe loud because they're going to hear you breathing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, he's scaring us. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, did anybody follow me? You know what I'm saying? They're going to follow me and they gonna kill him. And so I'm scared, like growing up, I'm just like, you know, thinking that somebody's gonna kill my dad. And then it gets to a point now, it's like family is trying to kill my father. You know what I'm saying? So then that really messes with me because there's literally nobody you can trust. Like, you don't know what stranger is out there that could be just speaking to you, saying hello just so they can get to your dad, or you don't know if it's family members who is doing it. And so he created this, you know, where he isolated us and created this fear in us where there was absolutely nobody that we could trust. And so we're thinking Deidre Haddons' family is trying to kill us, and then, you know, I don't even know who else is trying to kill us, but I just know that I just have to be on the watch, and then I just never know. I might have to change my name. And I wasn't even creative. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Michelle, that's what I want my name to be. That's my middle name already. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? As a kid, I wasn't thinking like, well, that's too close because that's your middle name already. And I was just like, I just switch. Like, just call me my middle name. Yeah, it was like, but it was so intense, like growing up, feeling like that everybody was a threat. And then to add to it, you go to a whole foreign country and you have to imagine the culture shock, just the shock of it all, to go to a whole other country because of a threat. So imagine how my mind is.
Anybody else have sibling issues? Family issues? I had an 8-hour conversation with my family, and it was absolutely fruitless. Fruitless. It had nothing. After all those hours of travailing over stuff, it went absolutely nowhere. Just absolutely nowhere. And my conclusion is, I don't even want to go back to the past because it's fruitless. I don't even want to talk about it, because if you still maintain the mindset that you had when it happened back years ago, and you still maintain the same mindset, and ain't nothing changed, nothing's gonna ever change. That's the way that person is. Period. And you'll get so frustrated trying to get them to change their mindset to think the way you think, and they're just not gonna do it because that's the way they believe. Huh? You know what I'm saying? Just like it's hard to change your mind too. So it's like everybody, it's a bottomless pit of nothingness going back to the past. I say move forward in love and in wisdom and do better, be mature and do better than you did before. Period. Because going back to the past, sometimes it just stirs up the same feelings and emotions you had, and it reminds you of why you don't like them. It reminds you of why you don't fool with people. The closure is understanding who they are and accepting who they are. And that's the way it's going to be. Because sometimes trying to change people or get them to think the way you think, that's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. So I was telling my family, I said, listen, let's not even go down there, and let's go ahead and just move on. Because, everybody, it's hard to have conversations with people, watch this, that want to play the victim and want to exonerate themselves from their part in the problem. It's hard having a conversation with somebody that want to play the victim. Oh, it's me, you did this to me, and you did this to me, and you did that, and you did that, and what about this, and what about that? But for everything you talking about with me, everything you pointing out about me, I can point out an issue about you. You don't want to talk about your part that you played in the matter. You want to exonerate yourself from the problems, what you added to the situation, and want to play victim. And you want to spend all the time telling me what I didn't do or what I did. But the minute that I bring up what you did, is, that ain't that. That ain't happen like that. Oh, I didn't do it. No. Since y'all want to go down memory lane, for everything that you got, I got 10 things, 10 issues. For every one issue you got with me, I got 10.
What if I'm not looking for closure? What if I'm not looking for resolve? I just want you to hear my heart. I just want you to hear my heart. I just want you to hear my heart.